I'm in the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, and there is nobody here. The museum is closed, so we're all alone. It's amazing to be with these magnificent pieces of art all by myself in the museum. Unbelievable, so beautiful. So we are doing a collaboration with the museum, and we are in the Japanese galleries. Our collaboration is all about the tsuba, which we will be talking to the experts about. The tsuba was actually originally a functional piece. It was a practical piece that was used in the ancient times. The warriors would have them on their swords, and they would protect their hands so they wouldn't slice their own hand. And they started out as a practical piece, but eventually, of course, became incredible pieces of art. So these are the 3 tsubas that we chose to be specifically inspired by, and these are little storytelling pieces. These are tiny masterpieces. Within each one, there's so much significance and so much meaning, so much history. And I feel so lucky that I was able to be inspired by these pieces. We have the first one, which has all the beautiful turtles in it. And turtles represent a long life and luck. And if you look at our piece, what we did is we combined the 2 tones. It's sterling silver and 18 karat gold. So it's a combination, but it's very, very inspired by the specific piece. Then the other piece is this gorgeous crane. To me, it looks deco. I know it's not, but this majestic crane is so elegant. Her body, her beak, and then she has her wings completely up, and it means good luck, good fortune. And so we were totally inspired by that one. That was so beautiful. And in the piece that we did, we actually put a diamond in it. It's 18 karat gold with a diamond, and that might be one of my favorites. Then we did the butterfly, and again, the butterfly is all about transformation, and as Sarah told us earlier, the butterfly is about living maybe a shorter life, but a good life. Live life to its fullest, and whatever that may be, and I think it's a wonderful symbolism, and the butterfly is in sterling silver with a touch of gold. So the ones that are 2-tone, if you're a gold person, you can wear them with your gold. If you're silver, you can wear them with your silver. So 2-tone is great. And then you have the 18 karat gold with a little diamond, and that's the cream. So let's talk to the experts about it. So I am here with an expert. Sarah, tell me exactly what you do for the museum.
Okay. I'm Sarah Thompson. I am the Terry and Bradley Bloom Curator of Japanese Prints.
Amazing.
So one of 3 curators working on different aspects of Japanese art.
Amazing. And how long have you been doing this?
I've been here for just over 20 years.
Just 20 years. Unbelievable. When we were working on this collaboration, the tsubas really fascinated me.
Yes.
Because they were originally practical.
Yes.
Purpose, right?
Yeah.
And then they have become, or they did become, incredible pieces of art. So maybe tell us how old they are. When did these come to be, shall we say?
Right. These, many of them are from the 16th century, a period when Japan was having the huge civil war that went on for about a century. Eventually that ended, and one of the warrior clans became the rulers. But they continued to use the swords as status symbols. So only members of the hereditary samurai class were allowed to carry 2 swords. So that's why you see 2 swords, a long one and a short one.
2 swords, and they had the tsubas.
Yes. They would. All the swords would be. The blade would be made separately, and then it would be put together. There would be a hilt that you actually hold that has lacing on it, so it is easy to grip. And then the tsuba comes between the blade and the hilt, so that your hand, as you said, so that your hand is protected.
So if you were from a certain family or royalty, what does that mean?
The samurai were not just literally warriors, although they started that way, but it became a social class that you were born into.
Okay, so you're born into.
Hereditary, yes. And in the olden days, until the 12th century, they were in the service of the imperial nobility.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, there was another big civil war back in the 12th century, and at the end of it, the samurai were the ones in control.
Got it.
But they kept the imperial court and ruled in the name of the emperor.
See,
So they were the ones who really got to decide.
So
But-
you were sort of, depending upon what your tsuba was and the design, and was it a design that created a status, or was it what it was made of, or did a family say, oh, I want a tsuba inspired by a butterfly or a crane? But I know that there are many stories behind all that symbolism.
Right.
But did they dictate what was going to be on these gorgeous tsubas?
As far as I know, the designs would have been personally selected by the owners.
Okay.
And of course, because the pieces could be put together in different ways, you might have more than one that you could change. But as far as I know, it was a matter of personal taste of what you selected. Where the question of rank came in was whether you were allowed to have a sword, to wear a sword at all.
Okay.
Now, anyone who could afford it could have one sword, but
Okay.
only samurai could have
Two swords.
That is, to wear at the same time.
So
I mean,
they
you
had to
could have a
design
collection.
two tsubas? Did they have to design two tsubas?
Yes,
Did they go to the tsuba
presumably.
maker? I mean, how does this work?
Yeah,
Let's
it
get
was-
down to brass tacks
yes.
here. How did this
How
start
did
at the
it work?
beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I know about
The
is
stories.
the subject matter.
Okay.
Yeah. There are all kinds of possibilities. Sometimes it's a story. The ones that you've picked, which are very beautiful, I admire your choice.
Oh, thank you. That's really,
yes.
thank you. I appreciate that.
But these are also, you picked very lucky,
Oh, we did.
very fortunate
Yeah,
motifs.
yeah.
So both the turtles and the cranes are symbols of long life.
Mm-hmm.
And well, as we know, turtles do in fact live quite a long time.
That's
so
true.
That's the meaning that they carry.
Right.
And cranes are supposed to. I don't know much about cranes, but they are said to be
So elegant.
long-lived.
And they're so elegant. The
Yes.
neck and
Cranes
the
are very, yeah.
design-wise, that when we saw that, we were just like, oh my goodness. To me, it looks deco. The design, it has a deco feel, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And the
Butterfly.
that pose with the wings up like that, that is called a dancing crane, which is maizuru in Japanese.
Maizuru?
Maizuru.
Maizuru.
Yeah, and then you have the butterfly, which is also very beautiful. And the symbolism there is a little different because, of course, unlike turtles and cranes, butterflies have a short life, but they're very beautiful.
Transformation. Aren't they about
and
transformation?
They're about transformation. You can interpret it that way. It's also the symbol of one of the famous ancient warrior clans, the Taira clan. So
okay.
it's sometimes described as a Taira butterfly.
So we
and
have-
it seems strange to have something like a butterfly symbolizing a warrior clan, but
Because
it's
it's
the idea, a short life but a glorious one.
short life, but
Yeah.
incredible.
I know.
So we have the butterfly, which we talked about the symbolism. It is amazing. And the crane, the beautiful, elegant crane. Good luck. And long life, the turtles.
Yeah.
It also is good luck too, right? Yeah,
Yes.
amazing. All right, so I have a really crazy question for you. I just thought of this question.
Yeah.
So in battle, when the warriors were wearing their swords, didn't they lose them sometimes? Were they lost? Were they?
Of course, I mean.
And these were
like
heirlooms,
any
weren't they?
kind of-
These
yes,
were kind of
Yes,
very
they
important
were.
to the family?
Yes. They would be handed down in families, assuming that they did not get,
If they
lost or
didn't-
captured by someone else.
Or if they didn't make it, would then the families get the tsubas and the swords? Or how does that? I know it's a crazy question, but I know that I want to talk a little bit about how these are.
If your ancestor lost it, did you get it back? Probably not.
Oh, wow. So interesting.
Whoever grabs it
Right.
has it now.
So how did
And
they
that would be
become
my guess.
heirlooms? And how did these become?
If your ancestor was lucky and survived the various battles
Right.
that he was in, then it would be passed down to
Right.
the
Right.
next generation.
Is there a serious value in the tsubas? These tsubas and the swords?
Yes, particularly the swords, but also the sword fittings that go with it. And these could be changed. It doesn't necessarily always have to be the same tsuba with the same blade.
Oh, so
And
they're
this is-
interchangeable?
They could be changed, but thought would go into what you were putting together and why.
So would a father pass it down to his son?
Yes.
And that would just stay in a family for generations?
Right.
Oh, so
So
interesting.
what happens, again, there was the ones that are actually in our collection. Some of them are from the 16th century when there was the big Civil War. But then after that, one of the clans took over and there wasn't much fighting after that.
Right.
The Tokugawa family kept control from 1615 to 1867. And so then, when all of that ends in the late 19th century, Japan stops their policy of being almost isolated and gets into contact with the rest of the world again. So at that point, the sword fittings become collector's items.
I see.
And in fact,
They're like pieces of jewelry. They
Yes,
really are.
yes,
They're
they definitely
beautiful.
are. It's,
They look like
jewelry
gorgeous.
for men, yeah.
Yes, they look, and women. They look
Well,
beautiful.
yeah.
They look like beautiful medallions, and
Yes,
and I
yes,
love
yes.
the symbolism that you were
It's not
talking
difficult
about.
to turn them
No,
into.
I know. I had so much fun with it. Obviously, it was fun. Yeah,
It
it
was
was
so
fun.
beautiful. Yeah.
I read somewhere that the swords and the tsubas were sort of the extension of a warrior's soul. Have you?
There's a famous quotation that the sword is the soul of the samurai, and I think they were really thinking of the blade, which of course is the important part and the very valuable part, but you honor that blade in a way by giving it beautiful fittings to kind of dress it up. Especially when you're wearing it in the hilt and people are not seeing the blade, but they know that something important is in there.
Do you have more tsubas or more swords?
I actually don't know. We have a lot
I see
of
a
those.
lot. I see a
Yeah.
lot of tsubas, and I only see two
The
swords.
tsubas are easier to display,
Right.
because they're small and flat. And how many do we have?
I do. We have several hundred tsuba.
We went through hundreds of tsubas that the Museum of Fine Arts has,
Yes.
till we came upon the three that we in particular loved, which was the crane,
Yes.
the turtles, and the butterfly. Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, each one of them is a piece of art unto itself. I mean, they're absolutely so gorgeous. I heard a rumor that I was going to be allowed to put on white gloves and actually pick one up.
Yes.
Is that true? Okay, are you ready?
Yes, so I have some gloves for you.
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind taking your bracelet off.
Oh, but I do mind. No. Okay, I get it, I get
Thank
it,
you.
I get it, I get it.
Just don't want to accidentally scratch anything.
Okay.
Your gloves.
Okay. Ooh, okay, this is very exciting. So you wear gloves every time you touch anything,
Yes.
right?
Particularly metals, because the oils in our hands can actually cause corrosion on the metal. So I try to be really careful about it. Yep.
So were they only made of iron?
There are actually a couple metals that are seen in tsuba. Primarily, the largest section would maybe be made of iron.
Okay.
But there's also copper, gold, silver, and two alloys that are particular to Japanese metalwork, which is shibuichi, which is copper and silver, and shakudo, which is copper and gold.
Oh.
So those are the 5 basic metals that you see in tsuba.
And the ones we chose, interestingly, I don't think we were conscious of it, they're all iron.
They're all iron with a little bit of gold.
Yeah. Okay, so
All right, so what we're gonna do.
drum roll, please.
So if you could just carefully lift them up with corners and just get a
I
sense
had
of their weight.
a lot of coffee this morning. You should know, Lindsley.
And then you just put it back down. But let's try not to take it away from the
So keep
surface.
it like this.
Yeah.
Okay. It feels heavy, but not too heavy. I feel like I'm touching a piece of history. It's amazing. I mean,
You are.
how old is this piece that I'm touching? I'm staying over here, guys. Don't worry. I'm not moving. How old is this?
I don't remember. I'd have to check what.
Thousands of years old?
Not that old.
Not
I think
that
it's
old.
probably,
A couple centuries.
yeah,
A couple of
centuries.
centuries. I am holding something that's been around for centuries. That is incredible. And there's detail. I see engraving on it too. Oh, feels great. And his eye is made of gold.
Yep.
Okay, that's one. May I touch another one
Yeah,
too?
go ahead.
Okay, now I'm going to touch the butterfly. Oh, beautiful. So gorgeous. Oh my gosh. It's not too heavy though. I would have thought it would have been a little heavier. And now I'm going to pick up the turtles. So far, so good. Wow. And is this also equally, they're all equally as old, right, from one another? Amazing. And the details, when you know, you think there's so many details when you look at it from far away, but when you look at it close, what are all these engravings in them? These Japanese words?
Yeah, those could be signatures by the metal worker who made them.
Oh my gosh, but they're chock full of little details. Oh, so it's not the warriors, it's the people who made them, the artisans who made
I think
them?
often it would be the metalsmith signing the work.
Amazing.
Many of whom would be, you know, from famous metalworking families, and you know, so they would be really well known for being
Do
gifted.
you
in
know,
this
like the
type of
history behind each tsuba?
show. Some.
Not all.
For
Amazing.
instance, this crane, we know, was by the Myochin family.
The
So that
who?
was the Myochin.
Wow, amazing.
And that was a very long-lasting metalworking family. They were from the Heian period to the Edo, so hundreds and hundreds of years. I think there was something like 60 different heads of the family over the years.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So much history in just this piece right here. Amazing. Amazing. I am really excited that we chose this to work on with the museum, to collaborate, because it's so interesting. I love the history behind it. I love the stories. And, you know, our brain is all about storytelling. So I love all the stories behind. I mean, every tsuba is another story. Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing.
Who it was made for, how it was made,
Yeah.
what metalsmiths, you know, made it, what imagery they chose to
What
put
they
on
chose
it.
and why they chose
It's all
it.
very specific to one
And the
person in one time
symbolism,
period.
yeah, the symbolism behind that. I just love it. It's amazing. Okay, so we were talking about these tiny little masterpieces, which I think, and these little stories. Each one is almost like its own storytelling little book. They all have 3 holes in them. So I assume the largest hole in the middle is for the sword. And then they have 2 others, which we actually, when we designed our pieces, we actually kept it consistent to the tsuba. So we were very devoted to keeping the integrity of the design. So what do they represent?
So you're right that the central hole is for the sword to go through. That's
Right.
called the nakago hitsu, which just
Okay.
means the hole for the sword.
Right?
The
Very
sword,
romantic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not all of them have the 2 smaller holes, but most of them do. A lot of them do, and those are called the kogai hitsu and the kozuka hitsu.
Okay.
So the kogai and the kozuka are 2 tools. They're often included as a part of the sheath for the sword. So on either side of the handle, there'd be little slots that these tools could stick into, kind of like a Swiss Army knife.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yes, that's a kozuka.
Oh, it's like smaller.
So there's a little utility knife and a little tool, the kogai. I'm told it's to help fix your hair. I'm not entirely sure how it's used, but that's what I've read.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But so the handles of the kogai and the kozuka would be sticking out of the sheath, and they need somewhere to go so you can reach and pull them out. And so those holes are to allow the handles of those tools.
Oh, so interesting. And we did keep that in our designs of the pieces because we thought that the integrity of the pieces so
Yeah, it makes them authentic tsuba.
Authentic
Yeah.
tsubas, yeah, definitely.
So you were saying how that you actually expected the tsuba to be heavier than they
Yes,
were?
I did.
So part of the purpose of the tsuba is to sort of balance the sword. So some of them could be pretty long, and the sword itself is actually pretty heavy. So when you're holding just the handle and there's just a little bit of weight on that side, it can be very heavy towards the tip of the blade. Sort of balance it better to allow for more controlled battle. The tsuba would
Probably
take
be very
concrete.
strong.
Yes, you definitely have to be
Be
strong.
very strong.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, to have to carry your sword.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the tsuba would help weight the sword a little bit more evenly, so that it would be less sort of difficult to hold the sword up.
I'm Asako Katsura. I'm an Ishibashi assistant curator for Japanese art.
Amazing. So I think you would be the perfect person to answer this question. When did these become like heirlooms and collectibles, and why?
So one of the answer is because Japan opened the country. Japan was under 200 years of seclusion policy until the late 19th century. So once Japan opened its door to the outside world, then people started to come to Japan, and they're fascinated looking at Japanese art objects for the first time, and then started collecting objects. And tsubas, because they are portable, for reason that, you know, both Lindsay and Sarah explained to you. It's easier for people from abroad to bring them back to their countries. And also it's possible to just like display them like we are doing in the gallery today instead of actually using it for stores.
Right, well, of course, we wouldn't want that.
So instead of like them knowing the actual history of how they were used originally in the battlefield, it's more for aesthetic.
For the stories behind the pieces. But your museum, Museum of Fine Arts, you have one of the largest tsuba collections, am I correct?
Yes, and
So
also,
how did you guys get this? How did you get it?
yeah, so this museum was established in the late 19th century. So it was the time when people actually went to Japan and started collecting Japanese objects. So this museum opened at the right moment. And then the earliest collectors of Japanese art, many of them were from Boston, such as William Sturgis Bigelow and Agnes Rosa, and also Sylvester Mose. They traveled to Japan, and then they brought objects back to Boston. And this was the museum where they gave all their collections to.
When I say that you have the largest collection, I'm correct, right?
Yes, and also it's not just tsuba, it's the largest collection of Japanese art outside Japan.
Amazing.
So we have about 100,000 Japanese art objects.
Amazing. Because when we started researching, when we started working on the collaboration together, I went through hundreds of tsubas. They are literally, you have hundreds of them. And they are just fascinating because each one is a masterpiece, and each one, there's a whole story behind it, and each one is different, right? Every single one is different. So any tsuba that a warrior, I'll call them warriors, is that okay?
Yeah, sure, yes.
Okay. When they wore these, each one there was a different reason for being, a different story behind it. It represented a different stature, a different point of views. Maybe it's something from their family. Maybe they wanted it for luck. Maybe they wanted it for long life. Maybe they wanted it to celebrate something. But each one had a different story, which I think it's really fascinating.